You're scrolling through your phone. You see a photo of your friends at a party you weren't invited to. Your stomach drops, your chest tightens. It feels like a punch you didn't see coming. And you tell yourself, it's just FOMO. You tell yourself to get over it. But the real reason your body just reacted like it was under attack is far stranger and far more ancient. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a broken heart and a broken bone. It processes them on the exact same circuit board. The same neural alarm that screams danger when you cut your hand fires at full volume when you are excluded, ignored, or rejected. This isn't a metaphor. This is a survival system that kept your ancestors alive. A system that now hijacks your modern mind every time you feel left out. To understand why, you have to go back about 200,000 years, back to a time when the world was not a place you could survive alone. Your ancestors lived in small, tight-knit bands of hunter-gatherers. The tribe was your oxygen, your armor, your grocery store. Being part of the group meant you had people to share food with, to watch your back while you slept, to scare off predators with numbers. Being cast out of the group meant something else entirely. It meant you were dead. Simple as that. A solitary human on the savannah was a meal, not a survivor. The brain that evolved in that world had to make staying connected feel absolutely essential. So it did something brutally efficient. It piggybacked social connection onto the machinery that already existed for physical pain. Think about what physical pain is for. It's an alarm. It says, stop doing that. Protect the body, or you will die. The pain of a burn forces you to yank your hand away before you suffer permanent damage. The brain needed a system that made social separation feel just as urgent. It couldn't afford to let you shrug off exile. It needed you to feel the injury of isolation as a direct threat to your life. And so, over millions of years, the brain wired together the feeling of being shoved and the feeling of being shunned. Researchers have mapped this connection in the brain. A region called the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, or DACC, lights up like a flare when you experience physical pain. But in a landmark study by Naomi Eisenberger and her colleagues, people were put into an fMRI scanner and asked to play a simple virtual ball tossing game. The game was rigged. After a few tosses, the other two virtual players stopped throwing the ball to the participant. They just passed it back and forth between themselves, completely ignoring the real person lying in the scanner. The result? The DACC activated, the same region that would be screaming if someone had just punched the participant in the arm. The brain was treating social exclusion as a physical injury. The participants described the feeling as deeply painful, even though no one had touched them. The brain's ancient alarm had been triggered by a simple game of digital catch. This isn't the only evidence. The neuroscientist Matthew Lieberman has spent his career showing that social pain and physical pain share a common neural foundation. He argues that the brain doesn't just use the pain network as a metaphor. It literally uses the same hardware. The pain of rejection is a real biological event. The same neurotransmitters flood your system. The same stress hormones spike. And it gets even stranger. A study by C. Nathan DeWall and his team found that taking acetaminophen, the generic name for Tylenol, actually reduces the emotional sting of social rejection. Over the course of 3 weeks, participants who took the painkiller reported significantly fewer hurt feelings in daily social situations. Their brains showed less activity in the DACC when they were excluded. A pill designed to dull a headache was also dulling the ache of loneliness. Think about that. Your brain is so deeply convinced that social pain is a physical threat that it responds to the same chemicals. You can literally numb the pain of feeling left out with the same drug you'd use for a sprained ankle. But the brain's ancient wiring doesn't know the year is 2024. It doesn't know that not being invited to a party won't kill you. It doesn't know that a ghosted text message isn't the same as being abandoned on the tundra at night. All it knows is the tribal alarm is blaring, and it dumps a cocktail of panic into your veins. The same system that kept your ancestors frozen in fear when they saw the tribe's firelight fading in the distance is now activated by a stranger who didn't like your post. The same system that made sure you never wandered off alone is now making you check your phone 100 times a day for a notification. any notification, just to prove you are still seen, still included, still safe. This is why silence from a loved one feels like a wound. Why being talked over in a meeting tightens your chest. Why seeing a group of coworkers laughing without you makes your palms sweat. Your brain is interpreting these social signals as a direct threat to your physical survival. The cortex, the thinking part of your brain, can rationalize all at once. It can tell you it's silly, it's just a party, it's just a text message. But the deeper, older circuits don't listen. They have been screaming the same message for 200,000 years. Alone equals dead. Belonging equals alive. The pain is the glue that held the tribe together. It's the price of being a social mammal. And the cruelest part? The system is exquisitely sensitive. It's designed to detect even the slightest hint of exclusion, a micro-expression of disgust, a pause in conversation that lasts a fraction of a second too long, a tone of voice that cools by a single degree. Your ancestors survived because they could read the room. They could spot the flicker of disconnection before it became a formal banishment. And they needed that signal to hurt enough to motivate them to fix the bond, to apologize, to submit, to do whatever it took to get back into the circle. Today, that same hypervigilance misfires constantly. It creates anxiety in social situations that are perfectly safe. It makes you replay every awkward moment on a loop, searching for the error that might get you kicked out of the tribe. The tribe that is now just your social circle, your workplace, or the anonymous commenters online. So the next time you feel that sudden, hollow ache in your stomach when you realize you've been left out, don't dismiss it as weakness. You are not being dramatic. You are not being too sensitive. You are feeling the echo of a survival system that is older than language itself. The punch in your gut is the ghost of your ancestors' warning. It's the neural scar of a world where being alone truly meant the end. And the fact that you feel it so deeply is proof that you are still, in the deepest architecture of your brain, a creature designed to belong. Your brain is still running the ancient software of the tribe. And it will keep treating social rejection as a death sentence because, for most of your species' history, that's exactly what it was. So that ache when you're left out, it's not a sign that you're broken. It's a sign your brain is still defending you against a threat that vanished only a few thousand years ago. You are a surface-dwelling mammal, but your brain is still a cave dweller, and it will never stop fighting to keep you inside the circle, even if that fight is the very thing that hurts you the most.